some point we can hear the punchline again. All right.
Yeah.
Maybe that's the Simpsons couch gag. Or also how for St. Patrick's Day, I go to McDonald's and get the Shamrock shakes. I already got one on the 7th, my birthday, and I'll probably get another one before the end of the month because I know it's a limited time. And they call it a cup full of luck. I remember that back when I was a kid. All right. Now for the regularly scheduled jokes. There are times where I'm thankful that things work out fairly well when they don't start off all that auspiciously. One morning this past week, I come out and I see a flat tire in my car. So I drive to the repair shop I go to a mile and a half away. I like knowing that it's a flat they can fix, and it didn't take all that long. Sometimes it means measuring time by what you're watching on TV. In my case, I saw two halves of Family Ties reruns, and then I went to work. It's like, cool. So I still got to work at a reasonable time, and I guess I was a little ahead on time anyway, so it still worked out in the end. I just didn't take a long lunch like I normally do when I would go to Walgreens and pick up a few snacks. And and I'm still interested in all the different advertising and product endorsements and such. I guess that goes back to when I was young and we studied advertising in different classes I took even in elementary school, where they talked about different ways to advertise. And one of them was endorsing a famous person endorsing products. Well, in this case, I found a liquor store near my workplace, and when I was leaving, I noticed coupons or rebates near the exit door, and one of them was for a vodka endorsed by Blake Shelton, the country musician that I guess is involved with Gwen Stefani, the No Doubt front woman. It's like, all right, I guess there are other times when famous people endorse liquor. I still remember watching VHS tape of old commercials and Ed McMahon, the Tonight Show sidekick, doing commercials for Budweiser beer while bowling. Ah. I'm doing the fish fry thing during Lent because I like good food I don't have to cook. And this past Friday, I went to one of the Knights of Columbus. And of course, in the times we live in with this pandemic, that means that we're often doing drive ups, carry out instead of eating in. And I noticed they did one thing that others didn't, maybe because it was a small parking lot, and they even had people directing traffic in the small parking lot. When I stopped, they put a laminated card on my windshield. It's like, oh, I have to get out and find out what number I am. I'm number 62. Cool. And I know one of the people there said, yeah, you could switch numbers and confuse people. I said, well, there probably are some people I know there are that mean, but that's not me. And no, I didn't keep the number. It was just something that I knew I could write about later on that helped remember the experience. This content of the fish fry I might have liked better than the others. I still like trying as much as possible. So it's like when they say combo between baked and fried fish, it's like, yeah, I'm willing to try both or different types of fish besides the way they prepare it. I guess even carp would probably be good if they were serving it, although it still reminds me of my old man once saying about as desirable as a carp fish, which I guess isn't very desirable, just by the context of the way he said it. And you had to be there on the way he would say it. Still doing the DVD rentals from Redbox. I like the self-service, so I don't have to deal with people. If I know what I want, I can get in and out really well. That's also why I like self-checkout at grocery stores. This week, the one I watched was called Savage State. It was a French-made movie about a family fleeing Missouri during the Civil War. Yeah, I guess you haven't heard about stories of French families in the American Civil War, and there was plenty of it in English as well as subtitled Spanish. And I still like seeing how much Spanish I remember from 4 years in high school. I didn't become fluent, so I'm familiar with how, yeah, at times there are alternate ways to translate it, literally or loosely translated. I can pick up on that pretty well. Like when they had fratricide, I guess that is one way to describe a civil war, but that's not probably the literal translation of civil war. Uh, and of course, it meant something to me when they said the setting was Missouri, because of course, well, St. Charles, that's suburban St. Louis. I've been to St. Louis, and in my most recent visit, I sang karaoke in St. Charles, and I guess that was home of the first state capital, Missouri, too. So whenever I get to St. Louis again, I'll have to see more of those things in St. Charles. I'm always looking for historical things to find. And I also made it to the Michelangelo Sistine Chapel exhibit at the Mall of America on Sunday. At the time allotment, they said was 1 hour to look at everything, but I bought a companion audio headphones for $3. And I spent 2.5 hours there, but I wanted to get my money's worth. I wanted to understand everything because I've never been to Italy. I've never been to that chapel. And I liked how they described things pretty well in the audio as well as on the easels, where it made a little more sense on everything that you were seeing in the frescoes. And I love postcards as souvenirs. I bought one of each they had there, $5. And it included, what was it, Creation of Adam. And I guess that painting has been parodied a lot. I just knew that the St. Paul Saints parodied it. When I think of paintings being parodied, I think of Mona Lisa and American Gothic. And I had to ask him, has been parodied more American Gothic as an Iowa native? That's what I'm going to think of. But the man selling the postcard said, well, that's the inspiration for that one scene in E.T. And it's like, well, that makes more sense now. So I probably learned something while I was there. Yes, I did. Because I know one thing I wrote down was somebody later on was commissioned to paint undies on the offending parts of the anatomy of the naked people. It's like, oh, yeah, I guess that's where they get the term puritanical from. But they also talked early on in the exhibit about restoring it. So I'd like to think that meant that they took off some of that. But of course, understandable. They didn't bring the real things there, just the replicas. Kind of like other exhibits I've been to, like, I don't know. But a lot of good exhibits you can find in the Twin Cities if you're paying attention when they have them. In this case, it was a sponsored Facebook post, and it reminded me I wanted to go there. And then, I like reading Writer's Almanac from Garrison Keillor, and I really like one quote I saw from one writer this past week. It was from Mickey Spillane, who stands for writing Mike Hammer, and it was something about peanuts consumed, more peanuts, salted peanuts consumed than caviar. And it's like, yeah, I'm with you, because with most things in life, you do want to appeal to the masses. You do want to be able to understand the common man, because there's more of them than there are of the sophisticated upper class. And I guess that's why I like the history of hearing about paperback books, because that's a great equalizer. Paperback books are cheaper, and then people buy more of them. More sales. More people read more. Yay for that. So I guess that'll do it for me. Thank you, Bowman. Great.
Yay, Lyle Larue.